Okay, folks, Vitek here from Wani, and with us today we have Swedish Nicole from her solo project. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. You got a month left for the release of the follow-up album, Miman. And I'm sure this waiting game must be really annoying until you wait for the album to be released and your fans and the new fans get to hear it.
Yeah, it's the hardest time actually making music because it's finished so early and then it takes so much time to get it out there. So, but I'm excited.
That's really good to hear because you have already released Bleeding Faster, and I'm sure you must have checked how are the fans responding, the comments on the Century Media YouTube channel. So how's it been so far for you?
It's been really great actually. I usually don't look at comments and stuff when I release music, but but I did it this time, and it was really interesting reading all the comments because I've never been like introduced to the metal world before,
Hmm.
so it was really
Right.
interesting.
That's good to hear because I was about to ask you this question that Sweden as a country has a history behind because as a metalhead, in fact, as a music fan, we've had melodic death metal coming from Sweden. We have had, the classic death metal sound coming, and then we have bands like Meshuggah coming and piercing our ears. And here we have another artist in the form of you. It always makes me wonder what's there in the air or food or water of Sweden that creates these artists.
I actually don't know, but it's really dark here, so maybe you can't do anything other than to sit in or rehearse with the band. Or I get really much inspiration from the nature, and I think that's why it's cold and it's dark, and you know.
Absolutely, and the album itself is it's like a dream. I mean, it's a puzzle which is dark, which is deep, has sort of a mystery kind of vibe there. Now, with you handling the writing on your own, obviously there must be something that has inspired you to write this album. So, what was the main inspiration behind this? The album.
The main inspiration is actually a Swedish book called Aniara. And it's a sci-fi novel from the 50s. And
Okay.
so I wanted, and it's been my favorite book since I was 14, and I really wanted to write about the book, and I created new characters on my own, and from the book and stuff like that. So I played around it, but that was my main inspiration.
Awesome. Good to hear because you have bands like, Century Media has a very diverse catalog, and here you have a very different artist on that. I was really excited to know that what actually triggered the signing of your album with Century Media because that's a very bold step, and I love that they did this.
Oh, thank you. I was surprised as well because, but I met Jens in Gothenburg, and he was there on my gig, and I did a really cool gig. Actually, I went to this old theater, and I brought my band and my lightning and everything, and he really enjoyed it. And we talked a lot about music afterwards and stuff. And then my management told me that he was from a metal label in Germany, and I was just like, what? And he was, but he has a lot of other like inspirations and stuff. So I really got why he liked my music, and he explained it so well. And I think he just like got inspired by me, and me by him, and what he loves and everything. So that's, I think it went from there when he watched.
Surely would have been, and a debut album like the one you have released, that's obviously something. And an album in general, when an artist release, can something which can make or break an artist. And obviously you did wonders with the debut album. And even though American audience right now might not be aware of your music, but slowly it's gonna creep in. So with the follow-up album like Miman, what attributes you kept in mind which you learned from the first album?
Whoa, the first album went really quick. It was like a year, and then it was there, and I was like touring all over Sweden and Denmark and Norway as well. And I was like, what happened? And then I just needed to like get into myself and figure out what I really wanted to do. And then I took some time and like really tried to learn from my experiences and what I wanted to do and everything. And then I just started to write Miman, and it became very, very personal, and I really felt like I put all of my like inspiration into place, and I felt like really mature with the feelings around it and everything.
Awesome. And an album itself is like a connected journey. I mean, all the songs are connected, has that essence that kind of feels like, there's a continuity in the vision that you have in your mind. So was it sort of a conscious decision to have a sequence on an album as compared to, let's say, standalone tracks?
Yes, absolutely. I wanted to do a concept album, and I felt like this book really had all the ingredients that I wanted to write about. And then I started to like write songs from the book and with like inspiration from the book. And then Bleeding Faster was actually the first song that I wrote, and that I felt like, oh, this is how the record is gonna be. So it went from Bleeding Faster, and then I created all these other like creations. So yeah, it's nice.
Awesome. That you have songs like Under Stars and We Are No Losers, and there's a definite, the post-punk influence. But I see a lot of that new wave of sort of a stadium rock kind of tones in the mix. Kind of reminded me of the 80s Polish rock bands. Somehow, I don't know, it just came to my mind. I generally I listen to a lot of 80s bands, and some years ago my friend sent me a couple of Polish old albums which I heard, and kind of made me feel the same as I listened to this. Is this a sort of an album for you, which you've heard or felt personally throughout the years, and now you're expressing it through the sound?
Yes, of course. I mean, all I listen to inspires me to write and to create a sound. And I think like the post-punk era is a really big part of my music interest and what I listen to. And I also listen to a lot of like dark pop as well as PJ Harvey and Nick Cave and everything. So I think everything is like just a mix of what I listen to, and it's mostly the 80s and the 70s. So.
Wow, so you always go back to the era where we were not even born, is it?
Yes, I only listen to music from when I was
Definitely. Yeah, you need some inspiration there. So your voice is the instrument here. That's the main instrument, which that's what my mind says when I listen to the album. Is the backup instruments which you have is carrying your vision forward, but it's your tone, it's your voice that is expressing the message. So
Thank you.
was it something which you write based on your vocals, the other instruments, or it's the other way around?
No, it's actually just like you say. It's really nice that you say it, because I worked really hard on my voice, and I wanted to be like the main instrument of the record, and I wanted it to stand forward. I wanted it to carry the record, as you say. So that's correct.
Great, that's good to hear, because I felt that the songs were written based on your tone. I mean, for example, Under Stars, or even the lovely track, the Lifetime, also has the sort of a no, it's that dark mystical stuff, and your vocals here seem to be like a hit and a miss. I'm sure as a metalhead, I love the tone, I love the voice, and maybe the person next to me might not.
Yeah.
It's a hit and miss. So when you look at the fan base, let's say for a country like America, which is where Century Media artists are almost everywhere, and here's a breakthrough album which can bring in more fans for you. So is that something which you care, that okay, maybe when my album gets into areas like states where fans are more into the pop and the metal, will they relate to this kind of music? Is that something you ever thought about?
Yes, of course. But the main thing that I mean, I write music because I love to write music, and it's always nice that people appreciate it, and then I maybe someday can live on my music and tour all over the world and everything like that. But I don't. I want people to relate to it, but I want them to relate to it because they like it and because it touches them, not because it's pop or it's metal or it's whatever it is. I
Right.
just wanted it to be what it is, and people can do whatever they want with it.
That's awesome. Good to hear. At this specific journey of yours, is this something where you wish to kind of take this music? Obviously, you have done it in, like you said, in Sweden, you played shows in Norway, but I'm sure it's a goal in your mind to take this album as a support artist or as an opening act for some other bands, maybe in Europe. Is there something that is in the works, or is just something you want fans to first listen to the album and then let the opportunities come your way?
I think we work parallel with those thoughts. Actually, I think it's always nice to get like the fans to know the music first before you play it. But you can go the other way around as well. You can play it at like gigs and stuff where people never heard you, and it opens their minds for the music and stuff. So it goes like two ways. So it doesn't matter. But of course, I want to tour.
Indeed, that's for sure. It would be great to have this album, at least with the instrumental and everything, and the vibe, because I'm sure playing this live would be a challenge to convey the emotion and the personal touch with the fans. And of course, with every gig you play would be really great. I don't know when you will come to States, but whenever you come, I'm sure you would have had a very good fan base who would definitely love to check you out and get some merch as well.
No, thank you. I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
That's wonderful. So if you had to kind of sum up the album, I know it gets kind of weird sometimes, but your music, your album, your journey, you had to sum up in a sentence, what would you say?
One sentence? Oh my God. I would say that it's a bit of darkness, but still mysterious.
Dark and a mystic album, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. Thanks, Nicole. It's been a great pleasure having a chat with you. I'm sitting right now in India, and I think this is probably
Oh
going to
wow.
be your first interview with somebody from India. And I
Yes,
know I
it
was,
is. That's amazing.
I was, Ebony told me, hey, I got this artist from Sweden, do an interview with her, and here's the album. And I was like, okay, post-punk, not my stuff, but let me check it out. And then I listened to it, and it's been happening from the last couple of days, and I'm digging the album. So thanks for the great music. I wish you good luck with the
Thank you
release
for
and
the
also
kind words.
the possible touring. And someday, somehow, we will end up in India. Okay?
Yes, of course. That's my goal.
All right. Take care of yourself. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye.